Hey, welcome back. So today we're going to talk about how much it costs to get going in audio recording. It's not that much. Let's go. So let's break it down and talk about everything we're going to need to record audio. So first we're going to talk about microphones, and then we're going to talk about the audio interface, and then the computer itself, talk about that, and then we're going to talk about software, and finally speakers. Okay, so the microphone I'm using right now is called a ZDM1 from Zoom. Zoom is the company that used to make drum machines, and now they make field recorders. So this microphone is an analog or equivalent to another microphone you've seen every podcaster use, and that's called an SM7B from Shure. So the reason I bring this up is because the SM7B costs retail $450, while the ZDM1 only costs about $75. So for the audio interface, I am using the UCA 222 from Behringer, but it's a little bit of a cheat because you need a mixer or something else to go with it because it only has RCA ins and outs. Even though the UCA 222 is only $25, I'm using my old Q802 in conjunction with that. This makes the UCA not a really good choice for beginners. A more well-rounded, all-purpose audio interface for beginners is the M-Audio M-Track Duo. Cool thing about the M-Track Audio is that it has Neutrik connectors that you can plug either guitar or a microphone into. And you got to switch between the two right there in front. On top, you've got your volume knobs for both inputs, and you also have separate volume for the headphone jack and your speaker outs. So I'm not going to talk about computers very much here, but there is a decision that you have to make when you're getting a computer ready for audio. Namely, that is if you're going to use a desktop computer for audio, with a separate monitor, keyboard, mouse, or you're going to use a laptop. There's a reason for that. If you choose desktop, you will have automatically more USBs to plug things in. If you go the laptop route because of portability and being on the road or whatever, then you have to have some kind of port replicator or extender that will give you more USB Type A's for all your devices. So I use 3 different types of DAWs. That's Digital Audio Workstation. You're going to hear that a lot in this kind of space. I use Cakewalk BandLab. Well, now it's called Cakewalk Sonar. I also use Reaper, and I also use, for writing, I use FL Studio. In addition, I use Audacity for anything mono in recording, sample prep, and voiceover. Okay, so I'm going to be honest here. I'm not using speakers right now. I'm just using these. The good old-fashioned 3.5 millimeter earpods from Apple. Let me explain why that's not a bad thing. Even if you don't plan on being a full-fledged audio engineer, meaning that you're going to mix and master and record people, you will probably need enough basic information on how to do audio to write a song. You have to at least be able to record a demo of that song. So part of that process is the mix process. And when you're mixing things, it's best to listen on as many different types of speakers as possible. And one of those speakers is the Apple AirPod. I'm going to do a whole video on mix coming up here in the future, so don't worry about it. I'll get into it more. Let's talk about total cost. So for the microphone budget, I have $80. And then for the audio interface, I have between $80 and $100. That should do you fine. The computer's tough because you may not need it if it's less than 5 years old. And that way you won't spend any money on it. Otherwise, budget about $1,000. So software, Reaper is 60 and FL Studio Basic is like 60. So yeah, about 80 bucks will probably get you going. I put about $250 for speakers because I think you should spend more money on that. Seeing it's something you're going to use every day, it's really going to help you out. So the grand total is going to be $510 without a computer and $1,510 with a computer. I hope this helps you decide two questions. Number one, if you want to do this at all, even bother with it. And then the second question is, if you don't want to do this, if the answer is no, it's not going to cost you a ton of money to reach that decision. See you next time.